So, our legislature does a lot of things right. And like any good citizen of the United States of America and citizen of the state of Texas, I razz them, I give them a little grief. I love the Will Rogers quote from the 1930s, which is still as relevant today as it was then, where he said, "Thank God we don't get all the government that we pay for." But that being said, the forethought of our legislators in creating a law under the Texas Business and Commerce Code that specifically addresses cohabitation of partners. So what does that mean in plain English? That there's a state law out there. They have already thought of this because they see this coming, and they want to make sure that Texans are protected from allegations like informal marriage. So I'll give you an example of what that is. You've got 40-year-olds have already come out of a nasty divorce. They decide to cohabitate. Maybe they buy some real property together, buy a home together, what have you. They go forward as partners. Well, then at some point, one or the other starts to think of themselves as a spouse. Maybe they start calling each other spouses and husband, wife, what have you. And maybe that is a scenario where you have the groundwork being laid of this isn't a cohabitation anymore. It's not a partnership anymore. This is a marriage, an informal marriage, a common law marriage. And things you can do to protect against that from happening is at the beginning of that decision to cohabitate, just write it down. There is a cohabitation agreement. Parties are not married. This is the list of assets I'm bringing into this cohabitation partnership. You know, whether or not you want to document with a list or photograph what items you're bringing in to the cohabitation situation. And usually, fellas, it's going to be a situation where she's not going to like your stuff anyway. So it's probably not going to be a whole lot. And then there's going to be her household items. You know, women, not all, but many of them have a style and a taste that they like to class up their residence, their domicile. And that's probably going to be a lot of what furnishings are going to be in that home. And then there's going to be situations where that's not the case. But regardless, those furnishings, items, assets, they can all be documented at the front end in this agreement, and then thereby protect the protect the parties from allegations later that it was an informal marriage or a common law marriage. And it also make the division of any assets easier because everybody will know what they brought to the party. It'll all be documented. It'll be part of an agreement.